Good evening, and welcome along to the big show here on NVTV. Coming up on the show this week, we'll have live music from Diane and Rory Nellis. We're going to find out all about this year's Ards International Guitar Festival. And author Dominic McBride is going to be here telling us all about his brand new book for children. But starting things off, we're going to find out about a massive awards ceremony which is happening in Belfast in April. It's been organised by Local Woman magazine. And I'm pleased to say Kim Kelly joins me in at the studio. Kim, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, Robin, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. So we'll talk about the awards in just a second. Let's talk about Local Woman magazine first, because it's now firmly established here in Northern Ireland. You've got issues all over the place, haven't you?
We do, yes. Local Woman magazine actually isn't one, it is 5 different magazines. We started with one over in the Northwest, and then after that we did a magazine for Ballymena and the North Coast, and we kind of thought that was going to be okay. But then other people were saying, where is my version of this magazine? So we started one then in Mid-Ulster, then we came to Belfast, which was exactly 4 years ago this month, and then finally we went to Newry. Right. So we now have 5, and we cover issues that affect women all over the country. We go out to community halls, we see what ladies are doing, we do cookery, we do fashion, but everything is very, very local.
And I suppose when you were setting up the magazine, it was pretty risky because other newspapers and magazines are in decline today, but you guys seem to have a good following and seem to have done really well.
I know, it's really, really strange. I became editor of this group whenever there was only 2 magazines, and that would have been about 5 or 6 years ago. So of course we were in the middle of the recession, things were looking very bleak. I mean, local newspapers, which were always the heartbeat of every town, nobody was buying them. Yeah. Well, the only people who were buying them were sort of for the court cases, really. I mean, that's the only reason. But like there was things closing left, right and centre. But the man who owns Local Woman said to me, can we open magazines? And I thought, oh, yeah, okay, let's try it. And we really have, you know, it's, as I always say, it isn't us, it's them. Our readers are the heartbeat of our magazine.
And it is stories about real people. And I know because I was with you in Derry a few weeks back at a massive charity event where we were talking to women who'd survived breast cancer, and they were telling their stories and stuff, weren't they?
Yes, we just love it whenever women come forward. Now, these aren't women who would be considered sort of fancy people. These are just your ordinary people who live next door. These are the ladies who you see whenever you're doing the school run. But quite often these are the ladies who have got the most to say. These are the ladies who are maybe going through cancer, as you said. Maybe they are doing charity work. Maybe they are bloggers. Maybe they have this sort of secret life where they're like an actress or something. We have the biggest range of women doing the most weird and wonderful things, and these are the women who are inside Local Woman. And
then because of all those great stories, then the awards ceremony had to happen, where you had to have a night to celebrate all these women, and it's coming soon, isn't it?
This is a real coming together. Now, we used to do the awards, we used to do one, say, on the North Coast, and then we'd do one in Cookstown, and these nights really are amazing. The women dress up, they come out. This is like a red carpet do, and it's a great chance for women who run their own businesses to stand up and just sort of go, this is me, you know, this is what I do. And we have prizes on the night. It will be, you know, things like the best restaurant, the best hairdresser, beautician, makeup artist. And these ladies can stand up against all the rest of people in the country and just say, this is me and I'm great.
So what can we expect from the awards? Well, what are the main categories?
Well, the main categories, obviously we start with sort of health, and we'll do things like hair, beauty, things like that. And then there'll be people who are Businesswoman of the Year, Shop of the Year, Boutique of the Year. There'll be things about hotels, so there'll be sort of restaurants, eating, bars, cocktails, that kind of. Then it'll turn to people, so there'll be Business Personality of the Year, which is always hilarious. Because obviously Northern Ireland is full of people who are just very different from people you would meet anywhere else. I'm so lucky, since I've worked with Local Woman, I have got to visit so many places that before I only ever saw on Frank Mitchell's weather map. And I was thinking that last week, I was driving to, where was I going to? Fort Hill, and I thought, I have never in my life been to this place before, because I'm from Portrush, so it's not the kind of place that I would normally go. And I went there, and what a vibrant community, what a glamorous community. Yeah. They were all out doing things. They were, you know, I went to this fashion show, and it was like something you would see in London, and I thought, this is happening all over. We are no longer based just in Derry or here in Belfast. There's women out there doing the most incredible things, and obviously things like social media has brought that to the forefront as well.
So how do the awards work? How do people get nominated then?
Well, it's really very simple. They either go to our website, and there's a form there that they can fill in, and I promise it's an easy one. It's just a couple of box ticks. You can nominate yourself, but of course most women don't want to nominate themselves. They contact me and they go, you know, who is going to nominate me? And I'm like, you need to nominate you. Or you can get your friend to do it, or your mum. Or if you don't want to go on to the computer, because I know a lot of people out there aren't that fussed on the computer still, you can pick up the magazine in the shop, and there's an old-fashioned, you know, box ticking form you can fill, and you can enter every single category, or you can enter, you know, whatever you want, and you just give a little bit of detail at the bottom of why you think you should win. So far we have already got thousands of entries, but we will look at I personally will look at every single one of these, and then they'll be put before a panel, and we will choose the best of the best.
And I'm sure there's probably groups of women watching this at the minute who might just like to want to come along on the night of the awards. Can they grab their friends and get a table?
Oh yes, it's going to be such fun. Now our host on the night is going to be the very wonderful May McFetridge. We weren't sure who to have as our host, and we kind of got thinking, who is the most famous local woman?
Yes.
And who else but May?
Yeah.
Who else but May? So she's coming along. There's going to be singing, there's going to be celebrity guests, anybody who's anybody is going to be there. But as well as that, just ordinary people are going to be there, and it's such fun. Grab a table, there'll be cocktails, there'll be great food, it'll be a night of fun and laughter.
So the 13th of April is the date, isn't it?
13th of April in the Europa Hotel in Belfast, and the tickets are go on sale very soon.
Now I know the new issue of Local Woman is out this week as well, so what kind of stories can we expect this time around?
Yes, we have stories about bloggers, we have stories, we have health issues. Obviously it's Mother's Day, so we've got stories about amazing mums. What we do every now and again is we throw Local Woman open to just real people, and we say just send in pictures of your mums and your dads and your pets. We are inundated. My favourite is whenever people send in pictures of their pets, because that is the one that people love the most. And we have pages and pages. I don't think any other magazine would do this. We have pages and pages of people's pets, and we look at every single one of them and we love them. And we have weddings, obviously. Anybody can have their wedding in Local Woman. Just send it in and we will print any wedding. We have lots of social events from community centres all across Belfast. There's lots of stuff. There's fashion, cooking, everything.
So you can get your copy right now?
You can get your copy in your local newsagent on Thursday, and it's only £1.
There you go, a bargain. Well, Kim, the very best of luck with the awards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for some live music, and this time an Irish singer-songwriter who's just released a great new album. We're going to hear a couple of tracks from the album right now. So ladies and gentlemen, here is Diane Cannon.
An dramsin min an balarú na bagga higgin alaku. Tan ball shog an comfort a Jimmy Emanog. Vi Emanogs na hakshanyon vi Bonaparte na hasu one or a quarter deck na hasu vi shall len vrishte war. Una vagna hete na tu for clue is eru. An leshen en ramel tanya gini na feloin. Skillin spontanes a fuertu en de lau yes la kashe gini galte ges kartel a hall. An makshin liam na cardigan a rule we riau dar be. An yeri na malip in no assassin yaler. Kaula mor na franca visig du le grandeur skurdiruka elle comfort let down the collar more. Ta aller hill na treie kal har salamara. Na franca na na Spania na ga parlament and re. Ta una gal har sala tart na fele poetric geschriwi sheet on one ring I will make you tea.
So there we go, that's a track from Diane Cannon's brand new album, and the lady herself joins me in the studio. Diane, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much.
So tell us about that track that you played there. What's the story behind it? What's it called?
It's called Una Vig the Heche, and it's not really clear what the song is about, which is true to an awful lot of the Gaelic written songs, but it does talk about a war or of some kind that was behind Tory Island many years ago. In the song it mentions Bonaparte, but it actually wasn't Bonaparte, it was I can't remember the name exactly, but it's just talks about the day of the big fight, and then obviously some Una Vig had something to do with it as well. So it's kind of a fun song, really.
And of course, it's all based around the area where you come from, the Gaeltacht area of Donegal. And I'm glad you mentioned Tory Island there, because I once met the King of Tory Island.
Oh, well, you were very lucky.
Yes, yeah,
wonderful
many
man.
years ago. He sadly passed away recently, didn't he?
He did, yeah. It's a big, big loss to Tory Island, absolutely. Patsy was a great man and a great ambassador for Tory Island.
So tell us about the inspiration then for the rest of the new album.
Well, when I started this album, the concept was to pick songs from my local area that maybe were endangered to have been lost in the tradition, especially different versions that were particular to my area. So that's how I collected the songs, and with the help of a few local singers as well, Lillis O'Leary and Brian O'Donnell.
So how long has this been in the process? How long did it take to get the whole thing together then?
Too long, like everything. I did say originally that I didn't want to rush it, and if I did it, that I was 100% happy with every part of it. And well, it did take me a long time. I'd say it took me maybe 2 years or just over 2 years, but it was worth the wait, because then I'm happy with everything on the album.
And will there be some live dates to accompany the album?
Absolutely. We've just done a few recently, Celtic Connections and Belfast here, so hopefully there's a few more coming up as well.
What about your background? I mean, obviously coming from Donegal, you must have come from a big musical family.
That's true. And when you're brought up in Donegal, there's music everywhere and in every family, so you don't notice it too much until you probably move away from home, and then you realise the wealth of music that's within the county. But yeah, there was music on both my grandparents' side and just in the house and in general, friends, school, it was just all around.
And of course, there's always a venue somewhere to perform, isn't there?
Absolutely. If even a stage as big as that, if you can get up on it, yeah, you can sing a song anywhere.
So what's your plans for the rest of the year now that the album's out?
Just to try and promote the album and obviously get some gigs and touring with the album and just hopefully and see how it goes from there.
And are you thinking about another album, a second album?
Yes, that's already in the pipeline.
Right.
So yeah. Working on that at the moment, just working on material for the new album.
Brilliant. Okay, well, if people want to get more information about you, how do they do that?
The easiest way is probably through social media, and my website is dianecannonmusic.com, and everything else, all the other social media platforms are Diane Cannon Music as well. Okay,
you're going to do one more before you go. What are you going to do this time?
I'm going to do Gafty Wallabui.
And is there a story behind this one?
Again, it's one of those very depressing songs, Gaelic songs, and it's about a man who loves to be out drinking and having fun, but then he starts to think back on his life and he realises, everything comes to an end. So it's just looking back through those things and seeing that the end is inevitable.
Okay, well, Diane, thank you so much for joining us on The Big Show.
Thank you very much.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, here is Diane Cannon.
Hey, Gafty Wallabui, Aran Mission Grill, Avi Amajabu Dante, Gelau Lamori, Shall Tomten Saniya. Now yet I don't feel the spady. Navi malag canvri, canvishna makri, si agam ervin leve. Vian kaluam hui agus begindu slui agus dimishi na fear waidan gal lui danirin fanam shore Naugumse vinskial buare Bahabal tu sente Ahian sikre o sabwere na me antruai she deru maharde an me daku vilahar alti lesh namra abuhel san me dagliaru mches or galchat say famakri velerung waldu Damin shahals spoen molier lapin wesh agus glanin she tagalnirin dirahan gasaw lashan varatana ratnaw en vagan Alarnaharnya Fakal abimara Dikratma gabra Monawi Meshishkriu tamarle Agus makulte Tichen Gwalangan snamara agus collie hen kasawa nyawal.
Now, my next guest is about to launch this brand new book aimed at young people, featuring lots of issues that surround their lives. We'll find out more. Dominic McBride joins me in the studio. Dominic, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
So congratulations on the book. So Dominic, tell us about the background to this book. How did it all come about?
Well, 9 years ago I made a similar book and it got on pretty well. You know, I was very popular and people were asking me when's the next one coming out, so I made one eventually. It's a songbook for children. It's newly composed songs. I composed 14 out of the 20 and 6 other poets wrote the words to the rest of them. I did all the music. There's a CD with it and half of them are kind of funky pop songs basically and the rest of them are very traditional. So it's a mixture of both.
So, of course, it's full of different issues, isn't it? Everything from fashion to food gets a mention, doesn't it?
Fashion features a lot. There's this main character in the front here, the Polcaphonc dude. He's an alien from outer space and he's travelled all over the world and all the fashion houses of the world, but his favourite material is the Polcaphonc. That's what the book means. Polcaphonc means polka dot.
Yeah.
So he's mad into polka dots. And the girl beside him, Plutine, they've heard all sorts of music and seen all the dances in the universe, but their favourite music is sean-nós, singing. I'm a sean-nós singer, you see, so I'm giving it a big plug there, you know. Out of all the music in the universe, sean-nós is the best, you know.
Because of course you've been involved in music yourself quite a lot over the years and you play a couple of instruments, don't you?
Yeah, I teach here in Belfast. I teach the choir in the Culturland every Thursday night at 7 o'clock if anybody's interested. And I teach in the Eris Vicarachtan on the Antrim Road as well. Yeah, I play the violin pipes as well and the accordion and sean-nós singing is my main thing. When I'm not writing silly songs about aliens.
And obviously coming from Donegal, you must have been surrounded by many, many great singers and lots of inspiration over the years.
Yeah, well, my mother was a singer and she taught me a lot of the songs and she wrote the lyrics to the first book, Iki Piki, and I did the music, but it was her inspiration that got me doing this, really. She was the inspiration behind it. She was a teacher and she taught a lot of songs, and I think she kind of realised that some of the songs weren't, a lot of the songs were for children and suitable for children, but some weren't, and she started writing her own songs about things that were going on in the 20th century. And so that's why one of the reasons I did this as well was I teach a lot of children, and I found that a lot of the songs were about kind of things adults were concerned with, like love, you know, and drink and things that maybe weren't suitable to children. So I started writing things about aliens and, you know, just eating too much and things that would interest children.
Yes, yeah.
You know, there's plenty of Gaelic songs that are for children, but they might be about farming things or things that aren't relevant in today's mad world, you know. So there's a song about the spider, you know, and a greedy spider. He just loves eating everything, and he's very fast at eating because he's got 8 hands, you know.
And of course there'll be lots of kids out there as well who are just starting to learn the Irish language. So will this book be, and the songs be good to help them with their learning? Yeah,
that's the other reason behind it. It's a fun way of learning Irish, singing, and children would be doing it unbeknownst to themselves. You know, they're singing along. They don't know they're learning at all. But it would be handy as well for teachers in school if they want a bunch of kids to kind of dance the same routine. All they have to do is stick on the CD and just listen to the directions. Kind of, it's in the lyrics, you know. So it's handy for a lot of teachers said to me through the years from the other book that it was a really handy thing to have in the classroom.
Yes, yeah.
To get the children dancing and singing. And I'll just mention maybe the poets.
Who else is involved in the book?
Well, the main illustrator was Dara McGee. He did a lovely job with all the pictures. And the other poets, my brother wrote a poem, Why Denny Wren from Gweedore. She wrote the lyrics to a poem, and Garth Hughes from Belfast here, Ray McManus. He's been living in Dublin for years. He wrote two poems, and then Joe O'Donnell from Gweedore wrote another one.
So if there are teachers out there who maybe want to get a copy of the book, I know you've got the Belfast launch coming up soon, or maybe there's parents who want to buy this for their kids. How do they do that?
They can be bought online, www.polcaphonc.ie, and then I'll launch it in Belfast, in the Culturland, probably around the 30th of March. Well,
Dominic, thank you for coming in and joining us. It looks like an absolutely fabulous book, really great illustrations in it. So the very best of luck.
Yeah, thanks a million.
Thank you. So it's time now for our What's On guide, where we take a look at what's happening throughout Belfast and beyond over the next week or so. We're starting off on a Thursday night, and Dungonal Ulster Scots presents an evening of country and comedy at the Dunadry Hotel, and that features Jean Fitzpatrick, Ray Lynham, Olivia Douglas, Matt Levy, Donna Duffin and Country Harmony, and you can get your tickets for that from the hotel reception. Moving on to Saturday the 16th of March, and the Empire will be celebrating the genius of music legend Gary Moore with the ultimate Gary Moore tribute, featuring some great musicians and special guests including Johnny D. Fox from Thin as Lizzie. This 4th annual gig will feature all the hits, including Parisian Walkways, Empty Rooms, Still Got the Blues and many more. Belfast will be celebrating St Patrick's Day this Sunday with a carnival parade that leaves Belfast City Hall at 12:30 and finishes in Writers Square. After the parade, there will be a free open-air concert from 1:30 featuring the Venga Boys, the Whistling Donkeys, Irish Dancers, Fusion Fighters, the Belfast Ukulele Jam, Catherine McGrath, and one of Ireland's finest guitarists, Ryan Sheridan. Belfast band The Rapparees are widely regarded as one of the city's finest exports of folk music, with a vast repertoire of songs firmly rooted in the traditions of Ireland and Scotland. And you can catch The Rapparees live at the Empire on Sunday, the 17th of March. It's time to do the time warp once again. Richard O'Brien's legendary musical masterpiece, The Rocky Horror Show, returns to Belfast's Grand Opera House from the 18th until the 23rd of March. Starring Strictly Come Dancing champion Joanne Clifton as Janet and A1's Ben Adams as Brad. And if you want to catch a movie in cinemas this weekend, why not try the new one starring Julia Roberts and Lucas Hedges? It's called Ben is Back. and it tells the story of a drug-addicted teenage boy who shows up unexpectedly at his family's home on Christmas Eve.
This time tomorrow, you are back in sober living.
Yeah, okay.
You do not leave my sight ever. Because for the next 24 hours, you are mine, all mine. Got it?
I got it. Hey, Burns! I thought you were dead. Oh my God! I put my family in danger.
This is on you.
Now we're going to hear all about this year's Ards International Guitar Festival in just a second, but before we do, let's hear some music from somebody who's going to be playing at this year's festival. So here is singer-songwriter Rory Nellis.
Spit, wipe and repeat for results you won't believe. Remove it, remove it, scrap it and start again. Reformatting's useful when an edit won't do it, and everyone loves an empty crossed out, restart over again. Crossed out, restart over again. Built up on the ruins of towns they tried before, but their methods were basic. Things are better now. There's food to go around. There's progress. Yeah, there's progress. There's no need to complicate a simple idea. Crossed out, restart over again. Crossed out, restart over again. Getting sentimental over things that never really happened. Sitting here and waiting for someone to hit the panic button. Getting sentimental over things that never really happened. Sitting here and waiting for someone to hit the panic button. Getting sentimental over things that never really happened. Sitting here and waiting for someone to hit the panic button. Crossed out, restart over again. Crossed out, restart over again. Crossed out, restart over again. Crossed out, restart over again.
So that's a great track from Rory Nellis, and Rory's just one of many great artists taking part in this year's International Ards Guitar Festival. We're going to find out all about the festival now because Emily Crawford joins me in the studio. Emily, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks for having us in.
Good, good. So tell us all about the festival this year. There really is something for everyone, isn't there?
There is. It's the 22nd year of the festival, and one of the things we like to take pride in is that, without being too cliched about it, there really is something that appeals appeals to everyone. So the festival started out originally as a small classical acoustic festival, and of course over those 22 years it's developed into all different styles of music. We've got everything from your heavy metal, we've got a film screening of Metallica, right through to the classical guitar and gypsy jazz and blues and rock and everything in between.
So we're all dying to know who's the big names coming to the festival this year.
Well, we have a couple. We're really excited about our Saturday night. We've got an international artist called Ariel Prosen, who some people may know as part of Brothers Landreth, and he's double billing with Simon McBride, who would be one of the biggest names locally in terms of that kind of blues rock style guitar. So that's our main Saturday night, but we've got some really interesting international acts. We also have Mike Dawes coming this year, who's a really exciting technical, very acoustic, percussive, technical style of player, and he's going to be joined by Alexander Mitsko, who is a phenomenal Russian young guy from Russia, who, if you haven't seen him before, check him out. So we're really excited to have him joining us, and they'll be supported by a Scottish female guitarist called Ali Todd, so it's brilliant to have the girls represented in there as well.
And I see you've got Shane Hennessy, who's a name who keeps popping up in my world over the past year. People keep saying to me, you've got to get Shane Hennessy on the show. Yeah,
he's fantastic, and actually it's the first time that we've concentrated specifically on Irish guitar playing as a genre. So on the Thursday evening we've got a lovely classic and contemporary. So the classic half of the bill is Donal Clancy, son of Liam Clancy of the Clancy brothers and Tommy Makem, and then the contemporary part of the programme is Shane Hennessy, who started out as a traditional Irish player but has gone down a much more contemporary route. So the two of those guys together on one bill should be a really lovely event as well.
And I suppose you couldn't do a guitar festival without mentioning Loudon Guitars, really, could you?
Exactly, yeah. We're really excited to have George Loudon joining us. Loudon launched last year their first production electric range, and George is going to come along and chat to us about how that came into development. And Ariel, who's playing on that Saturday evening, has demoed the electric Loudon, so he's going to be popping in to kind of show everybody how it should be played.
And of course everybody's talking about the guitars at the minute, all thanks to Ed Sheeran as well, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. They're kind of making headlines at the minute because they've launched an Ed Sheeran endorsed model as well. Yeah.
Now, as well as all the music, you've got exhibitions happening as well. I see there's the big Rory Gallagher exhibition.
Yeah, we've got a kind of Rory theme running throughout the festival this year. So the exhibition in your town, which is a collection of all Rory Gallagher themed memorabilia. So there's album covers, there's old concert tickets, backstage passes, fanzines. That's going to be in the Georgian Gallery at Ards Arts Centre, which is the backdrop for our Fringe events, which Rory, who you've just seen, Rory Nellis, is going to be playing in that exhibition space. On our Sunday morning, a lovely event that's kind of become one of the favourites of the festival. We do a brunch event on the Sunday morning, and the last couple of years we've concentrated on a classic album. So it's been Jimi Hendrix or it's been Pink Floyd, and this year the theme is Rory Gallagher. So we're going to be chatting through Rory's kind of back catalogue and all about his music, and you get a bacon buddy and a cup of coffee while you're there. So it's a great way to spend a Sunday morning.
And for people who want something a little bit heavier, you've got the Metallica screening as well.
Yeah, we do. Well, we kind of figured the big gig of this year is going to be Metallica at Slane Castle, and so many of our festival goers and fans are going to be going to that gig. So we've got permission to screen the Metallica documentary. It was filmed in 2004, Some Kind of Monster, and it's a great behind the scenes look at the filming of the Black Album, and it was quite controversial at the time. A lot of people criticised them for allowing the cameras to kind of get so up close and personal, but it's become a real cult classic, and it really gives you an insight into kind of what goes on behind the scenes in making an album. So we're screening that one at the Ivy Bar in Ards, and you can have a pint and a bowl of chips and watch the documentary. So that'll be that's on the opening night of the festival. And in complete contrast, our other event that night is classical guitar. We have a wonderful player, Gary Ryan, coming over from England to join us, and he'll be supported by the Classical Guitar Society of Northern Ireland. So two quite polar opposites that night, but I think again it's something that will appeal to completely different demographics of our audience. So.
And some great local artists. I see John Tracy's on the bill, who we've had in here.
Yeah,
he's just amazing.
He's wonderful. We had John in one of our support slots last year, and if I'm honest, he completely stole the show, and everybody was talking about John rather than the guy that was actually the headline act, which is amazing. So John's coming back to play for us this year in a lovely Sunday afternoon slot, and he's sharing the bill with Shiva, who is a kind of gypsy jazz, beautiful voice, and excellent guitar player as well. So we're delighted to have John back, and we're doing a special night that focuses on local buskers, people that have kind of made a name for themselves originally through busking. So the girls that were known as Orla and Molly, they're now Dea Matrona. These girls are amazing. They've now been joined by a little sister of Molly, of Orla and Molly, so they're now 3. And these girls are amazing rock guitarists, and they're really influenced by the old school 70s and early 80s, your kind of Deep Purple and your Pink Floyds and all that kind of old school music, but these girls can really play, and they're being supported by Hugo Boitel-Gill, who's another fantastic local guy. Started busking at the age of 11 around Belfast. I'm sure people will probably have seen him outside Victoria Square there, and he plays a really, really strong electric rock guitar, and you'll see him like playing the guitar behind his head and all this kind of thing. So that's kind of to give the local artists a bit of a support as well. And we've got Amanda Agnew, a wonderful singer-songwriter. She's in support of Megan O'Neill and the Dunwells for our closing event of the festival on the Sunday tea time. And our lunchtime slots, Amanda is playing along with Rory, who you saw earlier. He's going to be playing for us on the Saturday afternoon.
And then, of course, every year you do the Lifetime Achievement Award as well. And the lineup over the years, people who have won this, the likes of the late, great Henry McCulloch, Eric Bell, you know, you've had all these great legends. So I suppose 20 years that's been going, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. So we didn't start it right at the beginning of the 22 years, but we've been doing the Lifetime Achievement Award now since 1999, and I can't tell you who's getting it. I can't. But we have picked who's going to be receiving it this year, and there's a lot of debate goes on behind the scenes as to who should receive it. But yeah, it's always kind of something that people are waiting in anticipation.
It was the 4 of us last year, wasn't it?
It was the 4 of us, yeah. And I was a huge fan of the 4 of us. I mean, growing up as a teenager, I was a massive fan. So I kind of reverted back to schoolgirl on stage with these guys last year, presenting them with the award. It was fantastic. So
were you a big music fan before coming to do this gig then?
Yeah, I mean, I work in the arts sector, but music has always been the element that I've kind of been the most passionate about, I guess. And I kind of inherited the Guitar Festival along with my current role as Arts and Heritage Manager for Ards in North Downborough Council. So the festival kind of came with the job, and I've been doing it now for 13 years. And I certainly, if I didn't know about any guitar music when I started, I certainly do now.
All right. Give us all the details then. It's on between the 3rd and the 7th of April. How do people get involved? How do they get tickets?
Okay, well, the festival programme and all the information's on our website, which is www.ardsguitarfestival.co.uk. So you can buy tickets there, you can download the programme. We're on all the socials. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, you can search for Ards Guitar Festival and you should find us there.
Brilliant. Well, Emily, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Very best of luck with the festival.
Thank you.
So, closing the show this week, let's play something else from Rory Nellis to get us in the mood for this year's Guitar Festival. I'll see you next week, and here's Rory Nellis.
I was born for rainy weather. I love to find adventure in Monday. I move swiftly like the glacier, leaving only empty valleys in my way. It's not difficult to master, just edge it on a little every day. Try to keep an open mind, never judge somebody trying to do the same. Profundity don't come easily to me. We're not all blessed with that type of brain. Atheism has a teaching. Sling your saddle and grab on to the rein. As if you need reminding, in a short while we will all be there. So try to show a little kindness, never judge somebody trying to do the same. Try to mind your own business, never judge somebody trying to do the same. Try to keep an open mind, never judge somebody trying to